So we have to think that, scientists back in 2017, they identified a new structure in the brain. And they said that this structure, it's not new, but they identified it newly. This structure is spying on your breathing. Now, we can use this then to our advantage. We have to be very careful with what our breathing is telling the brain. And if we are breathing a little bit faster, a little bit harder, a little bit upper chest, during rest, during sleep, we are telling the brain that we are under threat. And the primary function of the brain, the most important function of the brain, is to ensure survival. That is it. And the brain is going to do whatever it takes. And the brain is not going to allow the body to be asleep if the brain thinks that the body is under threat. So people with insomnia, how they breathe during sleep can be a triggering factor there. Now, of course, there's a relationship with what's going on in the mind, because, when we have a lot of thought activity and we're going from one thought to the other and we can't stop thinking, and oftentimes it's kind of a merry-go-round, it's like a circle. It's quite unproductive. They can often be worrying thoughts, anxious thoughts. And again, in that state, we're not likely to fall asleep because the brain also is interpreting what's going on here. There must be a threat. And why would the brain let the body fall asleep if the brain interprets that there's a threat there? So I think there's a number of aspects to it. By switching to nose breathing, it allows a slower breath. It allows a lower breath by greater recruitment of the diaphragm. This in turn has a calming effect on the mind. By switching to nasal breathing with greater recruitment of the diaphragm, the upper airway dilator muscles in the throat do their job better to help keep the airway open. And as a result, then there's less risk of collapse of the upper airway during sleep, such as people with obstructive sleep apnea or just even upper airway resistance syndrome. I often feel that these three things are so tied in. When we think about the breath, we think about the mind, we think about sleep. We cannot isolate one to the neglect of the other, because how we breathe is going to influence our state of mind. Our state of mind is going to influence how we breathe. Our state of mind is going to influence our sleep. Our sleep quality is going to influence our state of mind. That if we wake up tired in the morning, we're not likely to be concentrated, focused. We're more likely to be irritable. But if we have a racing mind, we can't fall asleep. If our breathing is faster and harder, it affects our sleep. It affects our state of mind. So we have to say that, the human body is complex. And breathing is complex and simple at the same time.
Mm-hmm.